Hey guys, Christian the Haver Cardman here, coming back at you with another deck profile today. And this time around, we're going to be covering my Scrap Springans build post Lightning Overdrive. And this was actually one that was kind of requested. It was technically just Springans updated from Lightning Overdrive, but since Scrap Raptor did come into the game officially, I wanted to be able to show off this deck and its potential. I feel like this is much more powerful than just normal Springans, and it actually can do a lot. It is kind of similar in a way to my Chop Shop build, but it does have different lines of play, and you can either go strictly for the Scrap combo, you can go strictly for the Springans combo, or you can go for both depending on how you open it up and how the turn develops. I do want to warn you guys that this deck is very susceptible to Ash Blossom and Nibiru, but it is still a fun rogue deck to play nonetheless, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. And I'm going to stick to the format of deck profiles that I started doing last week, where I'm just going to show you guys the deck really quick. I'm not really going to go through a whole lot of it. I'm going to leave it down in the description. I'm going to show you guys a couple of combos, and then hop into a live game so you guys can see how well this deck performs. But anyways, before we get into that, guys, don't forget to check all the links down in the description to all my other social media and other channels I'm involved with, including the Coalition of Scrubs and Team Chaos Streaming. You can also follow my Twitter down there to stay updated on the channel. I'm going to start getting more active on there, so hopefully I can kind of keep some more updates going for you guys. And while you're there, also don't forget to check out my TCG player store down below if you guys are looking for any singles. I am still working on getting an affiliate link. I need to actually sign up and get it done, but before long there'll be one down there as well if you guys are looking to support the channel at all. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into today's deck profile. Alright, so as you can see here, the list is pretty straightforward. Once again, it does include the entire Scrap package that I normally use, including the Scrap Wyvern, going into the Scrap Golem, being able to recycle the Golem and the Recycler, which is really good to get all of your Springans resources into the graveyard so that you can fuel up your plays there, or you can just use it to send more machine extenders so you can keep your Link plays going, or once again, so you can get your Springans Exceed plays. So deck list is fairly straightforward here. Only a couple of outliers are like the Macrocosmos and the Anti-Spell Fragrance. These are here for the Curious Lightsworn into the Nightmare Griffin combo, where you can just send one of these to the graveyard with Curious, get some mills off, which are actually really helpful, and then be able to add one of these two back to your field, as well as if it's co-linked, you get a draw card with the Nightmare Griffin. So everything about it's just super good. And then the Nightmare Griffin itself is a floodgate, and it's really easy to get your monsters out of the extra monster zone so that your opponent doesn't get any monster effects during their turn. It's an absolutely wonderful combo. I love every bit of it. I did actually save a replay of a single combo tutorial, so I will go ahead and get into that now. Alright, so this is probably about like the best combo I've seen this deck go through, and I did open up with actually a pretty optimal hand here. It might not look like it, given that I drew into two Springans names, neither of which will get me into Gold Golgonda, as well as a Crystron Rosenix with a Scrap Raptor and a Scrap Recycler. But let's just watch how this combo unfolds, because honestly, this was like probably the best hand I could have seen. So let's just go ahead and get into it here. So I'm going to start off, obviously, by playing the Scrap Raptor and using his effect. This is going to allow me to search the Scrap Yard, since I already have the Recycler in hand. So now I'll be able to go through entire Scrap combo with bonus extensions. So we're going to be able to send the Machina Fortress to the graveyard here, because we were able to pitch the Rocky and the Rosenix, actually, which is really good to get both of those into the graveyard, to get our Machina Fortress back on field as our extender to be able to get into that Scrap Wyvern. As you can see, I was smart and I played the Scrap Factory before going into the Wyvern, so I didn't forget about it. Basically, what this is going to allow me to do is this is going to allow me to summon both Scrap Golems from the deck. So we're going to go ahead and bring back the Recycler here with the Wyvern, pop it again with the Wyvern, then we're going to be able to trigger off both Wyvern and our Scrap Factory to get both Golems onto field. And then once both of those are on there, Scrap Wyvern does mean you have, or does make you destroy a card on the field. If you're going second and your opponent already has stuff on the field, you can pop one of their cards instead. But in this scenario, it's easy to just pop the Scrap Factory because you're going to get rid of it anyways. So we're going to use the first Scrap Golem here to summon back the Recycler. I did kind of make a misplay. I should have used this one on the left first, given my link arrows, but I am able to make it work. So we got the Scrap Golem to bring back the Recycler, which is going to dump us that World Chalice. World Legacy World Chalice, because we need the World Legacy name in the graveyard. Then we're going to use the Scrap Golem that we activated already with the Scrap Recycler and the Wyvern to be able to go into our Curious. Curious at this point will now go ahead and dump us the Anti-Spell Fragrance. This can change depending on what kind of matchup you're in. If you're playing a spell-heavy deck, you can use the Anti-Spell Fragrance. If you're against like Shadalls or Dogmatica, it works good against that. Or if you're going for a really graveyard-reliant deck, like a big combo deck, you can go for that Macrocosmos instead. So I just went with the Anti-Spell Fragrance. It's just kind of like a 50-50 guess. Pretty much every deck plays spell cards. And then the Curious will dump us 3 more cards to the graveyard, being our Gold Golgonda, Pador, and Fossil Dig. This Gold Golgonda dump actually was really helpful, and it does come up later. So now we're going to activate the Scrap Golem again to bring back the Scrap Recycler once again, since he's not hard once per turn. This time we're going to dump the Springans Brothers, this is actually like a genius play. Since we already had the Rocky in Graveyard, we can now use the Brothers to bring back the Rocky to our field, who now will be able to add that Gold Golgonda back into our hand. Since we still have a Captain Sargus, we can still go through Springans plays all day long. So yeah, Rocky, adding that Gold Golgonda right back in. We're going to go into the lib with our Golem and Recycler, adding our World Legacy Succession to our field, so we can activate that to bring the Golem back and be able to send another card to the graveyard with that other Scrap Recycler, and just providing us with more bodies for link plays. So we're going to dump the Bronga this time. We're going to use the Bronga and the Fedora from the graveyard to search for our Springans Watch, so we can activate our Gold Golgonda and then go Springans Watch to add another Springans monster to our hand and send one to the graveyard. So we are going to add the Fedora to our hand here, or the Fedora, since we already banished one, and then we will send another Bronga to the graveyard, just so we get as many names as possible for our Springans plays. So we're going to go here, linking 4 into the Saryuja with 4 materials, so that we can get that draw 4, send 3 back. So let me see if I can go back here a second. All right, guys, we're back. Sorry, my EDO Pro crashed while I was trying to kind of go back a couple steps here. Let me make sure that's actually right size there. So I just kind of want to go one step at a time here. So we'll just see. I just want to kind of see what we draw. Okay, so it didn't really give me a chance to show it there, but I ended up pulling a Macrocosmos, a Scrap Raptor, and I believe it was either another Fossil Dig or a Scrap Yard. So I, of course, kept the Macrocosmos and the Springans Booty. Actually, I think the Booty is what we drew into. So we sent back our other stuff, and now we're going to use the Gold Golgonda to pitch the Captain Sargus to summon our Merrymaker to get us another dump to the graveyard. It would have been optimal to be able to save this for later in the turn to get the Explorer to end with that Springans Booty, but this was really probably about like the best play we could have made here. So now we're going to use that Merrymaker to go ahead and dump another Fedora to our graveyard. I don't know why, I just wanted to put all of them in there, I guess. I think I actually forgot that I had the second one. Oh, never mind. No, that was our only Fedora in the graveyard. Okay, never mind. So yeah, now we're going to go into the Codebreaker Virus Swordsman to get our whole Codebreaker combo. Super easy how it works with the Saryuja. You just summon the Codebreaker 0 Day out from deck with the Virus Swordsman's effect. Then you go into the Virus Berserker to get those 2 back. And this is where we're actually going to be able to set up our field for its like very big end board. So this is where we're going to go into the Nightmare Griffin, and we're actually going to have to discard the Springans Booty here because we drew into the Macrocosmos, so we might as well keep our extra Floodgate. So basically we're going to end this turn with 3 Floodgates, because now we're going to use that Nightmare Griffin to pitch the Booty to set the Anti-Spell Fragrance back to our field, and then we draw into a Scrap Raptor. And we actually have not used Saryuja's summoning effect yet, but we need 1 more material on field to get where we need to be. So let's see here. So we get the Scrap Raptor on field, and then we're going to go into our Unchained Abomination in the main monster zone. So now the only arrow that our opponent has is the extra monster zone right above him. So that puts them at a serious disadvantage. Anything they normal summon or special summon to their main field is not going to get any of their effects. The only chance they could really have is if they're able to get a single monster out, or like even a couple, and be able to link into a monster here that can get its effects, or at least put more arrows down here to give them effects. But this Nightmare Griffin severely limits them, because special summon monsters on the field cannot activate their effects unless they are linked. So, and if they try to like destroy our Griffin, we can retaliate with the Abomination to destroy that. We have the Anti-Spell Fragrance and the Macrocosmos both in the back row to stop a lot of their plays, because now any card that's going to be sent to the graveyard is going to be banished instead. Anti-Spell Fragrance, they're not going to be able to activate spell effects, and they're just really in a big pickle here. So this is what Scrap Springans can do. Unfortunately, it does kind of resemble a lot of what Chop Chop does, but Springans are actually really nice because they don't lock you into an attribute, and you don't have to go the whole Phantom Knight's Rusty Bardiche direction. You could, if you wanted to, you could find a way to splash enough darks in here to make it work. But personally, I kind of like this combo. I think it's actually a little bit more versatile than Chop Chop in a way, because if you get to a point in Chop Chop where all you can do is Orcus combo, you get locked into dark monsters, so you can't go through the whole Nightmare Griffin thing. Whereas Springans don't lock you in anywhere down the line. It's actually really nice to be able to just get all these monsters out all the time. Like, it didn't seem like it was going to be very viable at first, and then we got Springans Brother and Booty, and now the deck is actually really, really viable in terms of rogue play. But I just think this is cool, seeing a monster that is able to pop a bunch of stuff here, a Nightmare Griffin, Anti-Spell Fragrance, and a Macrocosmos. This turn, I actually did want to be able to go into Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax, which now that I'm thinking about it, I could have, because if I had used, well, I guess it needs to be monster special summon from the extra deck, huh? So I wouldn't have been able to do it just because that Codebreaker Virus Swordsman was special summoned from the graveyard at the time he was on the field. Otherwise, I would have gone with the Saryuja and the Scrap Raptor into my second Scrap Wyvern to then go into the Avermax, because then that'll give your Griffin extra protection. It'll guarantee your opponent doesn't have any arrows unless they can special summon in the extra monster zone on the other side there. So that really would have been more beneficial, but I still think this play was actually really good and still ended up very well. So let's go ahead and hop into a test game here and see how this deck can actually hold up against the normal meta game or maybe some other casual decks, whatever we end up playing. So let's go ahead and hop into that. Alright, here we are going into the game. We're going to win the RPS, so let's go ahead and go first. Let's get that board established, and we drew a very, very nice hand. Alright, so let's go ahead. I'm actually going to activate the Scrap Factory now so I can chain block the Raptor and make sure that that can go off. As long as Scraptor can go off, our combos are safe. Alright, so let's go ahead and use him really quick. And then we will trigger him as Chain Link 1 and then go Scrap Factory, Chain Link 2. So that if he ashes the Scrap Factory, it's just fine. But since he didn't, we can get that free Scrap Golem from deck and be able to use our Scrap Raptor to get a Scrap Recycler going into a combo here. Alright, let's go ahead and normal summon the Scrap Recycler. And I'm just going to send the Rosenix because I don't want to use the Scrap Golem just yet. I want to be able to use him to cycle the Recycler. Alright, so let's go ahead and find our Rosenix here. Activate. He's probably going to think this doesn't make much sense, but it will in just a moment here. Alright, so this is where we go Scrap Wyvern now. Alright. Alright, activate him really quick to be able to special summon back our Recycler. Pop it immediately so we can still get the Wyvern effect off. We unfortunately cannot get a Scrap Factory again, but that is just fine. So we'll get another Scrap Golem from deck here. And then now we can pop that Scrap Factory. So now we have, like, just insane extension here. So we're going to bring that Scrap Recycler back because we're going to be getting rid of him, like, right away. Alright, let's put him down there and then be able to use his effect now. And at this point in time, we need to dump the World Chalice or the other World Legacy name in here. It really doesn't matter. We just need a World Legacy in Graveyard. Okay, so I can actually still go into the Curious combo here in a second. I'm just going to do the Lib combo first, because this will just get us another dump and, like, more free plays. Alright, so World Legacy Succession to our field. I really hope this guy doesn't just decide to quit, but we will see. Alright, so Scrap Golem back to the field here. Get him really quick, and then we'll activate his effect again to be able to get that Scrap Recycler back. We haven't even used this guy over here. Like, our other Scrap Golem's just kind of chilling there, not really doing a whole lot of anything. So now we can go ahead and go into the Scrap Recycler. And now it really doesn't matter who we summon or who we send. I think I'm going to send the Rocky to set us up for another Brothers play. I think that's going to be the way to go here. Alright, so now we can special summon out our Curious using these three since we've already activated that Scrap Golem. Put him, put Curious up there, although it doesn't really matter all too much. So now we can send one of our Floodgates here. I don't know what we're playing against. I think the Macrocosmos might just be better in this case. And then we'll dump 3. Alright, we'll see what we dumped here. We got a Scrapyard, World Legacy World Crown, and a Springans Watch. That's kind of sad, but it's fine. So now we'll go ahead and go with the Golem. Summon back the Recycler again. This is honestly just such free combo, and he clearly doesn't have a Nibiru, otherwise he would have hit it by now, because we wouldn't really be able to extend much past this. We'd be able to get a Springans play, but that's about it. So we'll go ahead and send the Brothers. I'm just going to assume this guy really doesn't have any hand traps, so that's actually really nice for us. So we'll go ahead and summon the Rocky. And that will allow us to use his effect to add the Brothers back to hand. So now we have another material to use for Gold Golgonda, or we can even use the Springans Watch to be able to get that Machina Fortress out as an extender. So from here now, let's see. So we need to go into the Saryuja now. So we're going to go ahead and we need to use that because we need that zone freed up. We'll go ahead and use the Recycler and the Gala. We'll just go for 4 materials. Might as well. So Saryuja up there. Use his effect now. Draw 3. Wow, so we drew 2 Gold Golgondas, so that makes it really easy to figure out what we don't need. Let's just get rid of one of these extra Brothers. That's totally fine. This is actually a pretty good hand right now. It's looking pretty well stacked. So let's go ahead here. I'm just going to activate the Machina Fortress. We're going to pitch that Captain Sargus. I guess I could have done the Machina Fortress and the Brothers. That probably would have been the smarter play, but that's okay. We just need to be able to get into that Codebreaker. That is not what I wanted to click. Okay. There we go. Codebreaker, Virus Swordsman using these two. Unfortunately, our opponent does not have anything to shuffle back, so we're only going to activate our Virus Swordsman. Otherwise, we'd be able to chain block, which would actually be really cool. Do not want to special summon the opponent's field. I really hate that that's even a question, to be honest, but I get it. It is technically part of the effect and something legal that you can do. I just don't see why anyone would, unless you're trying to go for an FTK, but that's not what we're here for. I mean, in a way, this kind of is a degenerate FTK, but it's fine. All right, so we're going to use these two. Do not want to special summon the opponent's field. We're going to put the 0 day over here, and then we will go ahead and put this boy down here. Okay. So now is where we can go into our Nightmare Griffin. And we're going to use these two for that, I think. Unless, yeah, that's pretty much the only way I can do that. All right, finish there. And we're going to make sure it goes down here so we can get the co-link draw. I think that's going to help us out a lot. Even though it is going to give them an arrow to work with, it's fine. We're just going to get that Macrocosmos back to our field here. All right. Draw one card. Yes, I do. I do want to do that. Okay, so I have actually not summoned the Scrapter yet. So the fact that we drew into the Scrapter is hilarious. It gave us basically the exact same combo as last time, except we do get to end on a Springans monster, which is so cool. All right, so we're going to use that here. And then now we can special summon out our Unchained Abomination using these guys to do that. And then we'll activate our Great Sandsea Gold Golgonda. Be able to use our Springans Watch here since we have a Gold Golgonda on field. I actually don't... yes, I do want to add that instead. I can't really check my graveyard here, but I can check numbers. So I know we have a Captain Sargus. We do not have a Bronga yet, but I think I'm going to send that to graveyard actually so we can get a search. So let's do our Pador, and then we'll send to graveyard the Bronga because I really want to be able to get the booty. I think that'll actually be really good for us because that'll get us an extra effect negation. So we're just going to banish... we'll banish the Rocky because he doesn't really matter too much. All right, so Springans booty to the field. All right, so now we can use our Great Sandsea Gold Golgonda to pitch the Pador. Bring out our X-Blower. Put it right there. As I could have blocked their extra monster zone up there, but that's fine. I want to be able to leave it open in case I need link plays. So we'll go ahead and activate the Springans booty just so we got it. So this is actually just a ridiculous play here, guys. If you can see like how insane this is, because now X-Blower will give us a free negation thanks to booty, and then we of course have the Nightmare Griffin as a floodgate. We have the Macrocosmos in the graveyard. Just everything is absolutely insane. Unfortunately, our materials will get banished thanks to Macrocosmos. Depending on when we use it, we can wait to trigger it until we use our X-Blower actually. But I just look at how insane that is. We almost burned up our time doing that. So now we have a floodgate, Unchained Abomination for a pop, Macrocosmos, and negate through the X-Blower. This deck is actually insane, and we just went through that entire combo completely uninhibited. I don't even know if this guy's going to have an out to this board. So he's going to use Zexal Construction. Okay. Yikes. Okay, so this only negates an effects monster. So we'll be fine there if we just use the X-Blower to negate whatever they bring out. So he's going to reveal the Forbidden Droplet. That is kind of scary. I won't lie on that one. So he's going to bring out the Ascend Sage. He's not going to be able to use it, though. So I'm not really sure where he's going here. He's going to do the Forbidden Droplet. He's going to try to get that Griffin, I'm guessing. Okay, so he's just discarding the Barion's Force. He's only getting rid of one, so he's just going to do the Nightmare Griffin. That's got to be where he's going here. Yep, he's just going to negate that Nightmare Griffin, but that's fine. We still have an effect negation. We have pops. We have ways to get around this. So he's going to do the Ascended Sage. He's going to Monster Reborn. What's he bringing back? He's going to bring my Scrap Raptor out. Okay. That's fine. I'll let him go into whatever he's going to go into, and then I'll negate it with the X-Blower. Okay, he's just going to try to draw here. That's fine. He's really not going to get a whole lot here. So he's going to go into 1 rank 4. He's going to go to the Utopia double, and that's what we're going to negate. We're going to activate our X-Blower right now. All right. Activate. And now we'll just get that negate on the Utopia double. And then we'll be able to activate our Macrocosmos after that. Okay, so he can actually... What is... Okay. Oh, that is a quick effect to search for the double or nothing. Okay. That's... I mean, fair enough. I guess I shouldn't have been surprised by that. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. So that, actually, he might be able to finish up us on that. I kind of shotgunned. I forgot that that's a quick effect to use that. Oh, actually, we can still activate the booty now to be able to negate that so he can't negate his own attack. So that actually works really well. And then this, I think it stops it from attacking, too. let me see. Yeah, it cannot attack for the rest of this turn. So your Utopia is kind of useless. And then now I can activate the Macrocosmos just to be that guy. I don't know if this guy really has anything left in him now. That's kind of it. I mean, he got a couple of draws, so he might have something in his hand, but I don't know if it's going to be useful enough to make it work. He's going to go to the Utopia Prime. Okay. Alright, so he basically just did that just to get past the effect negation, and then he's going to rank it up. Okay, this is why Utopia is kind of terrifying, not going to lie. So here's your Utopia Dragner. I kind of wish I went for the anti-spell fragments, but once again, I didn't know what I was playing against. But if I drew that, I definitely would have won this round easy. If he gets over that Abomination, it's going to be kind of rough. Actually, can this be destroyed? Okay, this can be destroyed by effect. So if he does climb over the Abomination or like destroys it, I can pop it in retaliation, so that's fine. Alright, so there's our Utopia Ray. He's going to keep drawing. That exchange tactic, or Exceed's exchange tactics is pretty insane. Honestly, Utopia has gotten fairly powerful, I will admit. But I also, unfortunately, don't know what a lot of the deck does. He might be able to go pretty close. Well, okay, he might get me down to about half, but I don't think he's going to go much higher than that. So, I think I kind of want to get rid of that Utopia Dragner, though. That looks more dangerous. Alright, actually, hold on, is this protected? Okay, so far it's fine. Oh, he can negate a monster effect. Okay. Yeah, so I guess I'm just going to go for that. He's probably just going to negate it. Yeah, I didn't even realize that was on there. Okay, that's fine. Unfortunately, we don't really have any follow-up plays, and the Macrocosmos is going to hurt us. I really wish I had gone for the other play, but... Oh, wow, he didn't even normal summon yet either. I just realized that. Oh, wow. Okay. I'll give Utopia credit. I will give Utopia credit. He was able to break that board like a pro. Like, I almost wish I activated the Macrocosmos sooner so that he couldn't have activated the Forbidden Droplet. That actually might have been, like, the saving play. It really might have. But I think I can get rid of his whole field here. So he can negate a monster effect once per turn. Okay, so what does this do? Add one World Legacy card from my deck to my hand. Okay, so that will work. So I'm going to banish that now to be able to get myself a World Chalice out. He's going to Tornado Dragon. He's going to get rid of the Gold Golgonda, most likely. No, he's going to get rid of the booty. Okay. I think I can live with that. Alright, World Legacy Succession. So, let me see here. Unfortunately, I can't use the Gold Golgonda since I have the X-Blower on field. Try to think here. So I can activate you. Oh, yeah, to attach this material. That's right. Okay. So I don't really have any link plays I can go to. I don't really have anything I can go into other than just beefing this guy up and beating over something. That's about the best of what I got. And he's gonna... Okay, what is... Okay. Oh, that's a quick effect, so he can do that again. Oh, no. So he's got a Utopia Beyond out here. Oh, that's not good. That is... I think this might actually be the end of us, guys. I think this might be it. I'm just gonna attach all these just because it's funny. Actually, and I can remove them to get rid of some stuff, so that's fine. So I'm just gonna put you in defense. We're gonna activate your effect. I am going to go with... I think I really want to get rid of that Dragner. Okay, maybe I want to get rid of the Utopia Beyond. So I think I'm just going to target right here. Yeah, because I can get rid of the Exceed's change tactic, so he can't just get a bunch of draws. Oh, is that... Okay, he's just going to negate it. That's valid. And then I'll set you as just an extra defense. I think that's probably game. I can prevent one of his monsters from attacking, and maybe that'll save me a little bit. But I only have 4,700 life points left. I think he's got game on this one, like, pretty easy. Alright, I'm going to wait to see if he tries to do anything. Oh, he revealed the double or nothing. That's right, because he still had that from last time. I doubt he's got another Utopia double, or at least, like, another way to use the double or nothing. But he might. It is Utopia. You never know. His board is looking pretty full, though. Oh, yikes. Is this just another equip? Oh, I can't... Okay. I need to activate this now. Wait. No, because as soon as he equips it, I'm not going to be able to target that. So I'm just going to activate this anyways, and I'll target something at least. He's got to negate. I keep forgetting that. Well, we've got 2 bodies on field here. He can beat over one of the... Oh, that's 8,000. Yikes. Yeah, so he's probably just going to attack this with the Tornado Dragon or with the Utopia Beyond, so he can attack directly with the Utopia Ray. GG. That was actually a very entertaining game. Really cool to see what Utopia can do. That was impressive. I will give him full credit for that. All right. Well, you guys didn't really get... You did get to see, like, pretty much the full potential of Scraps. You just had to see it get demolished by Utopia. So, thank you guys for tuning in today. Once again, I appreciate all of your guys' support so much. And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down below so you guys can keep updated on all of my future content. And just so I know that you like seeing this kind of stuff. So, once again, guys, don't forget to check all that stuff down in the description as well. If you're looking for singles, I do have my TCG Player store. I'm always adding more cards. So, if you need something specific, go ahead and take a look, see if I got it. And I'll catch you guys all in the next video. Remember to have fun and make your move. Peace out. I'm a love giver.